They invent ways of doing evil. But let me remind you that those who do such things deserve death. The LGBT community not only continues to do these very things, but also approves those who practice them.
Those who do such things deserve death. Now, before we get into this video, and I'm going to show you more of the video a little bit later on, I want to talk about the phrase culture war. It's a phrase that I'm sure you've heard over and over again on both sides. They're using culture wars. They're talking about culture wars. They're distracting you with culture wars. It seems like it might exist in a vacuum. It seems like it might only exist in the news. But I want to remind you that it doesn't. And it has effects. It ripples throughout the community. It affects people. And it makes people say things like what you just saw at a school board meeting. Now, I want to show you the rest of the clip, and then I'm going to break it down.
Men committed shameful acts with other men and received in themselves a due penalty for their error. God gave them over to a depraved mind so that they do what they should not be done. They invent ways of doing evil. But let me remind you that those who do such things deserve death. The LGBT community not only continues to do these very things, but also approves those who practice them. And let me end by saying that God loves everyone. He even loves those of the LGBT community, but he doesn't like their practices or their moral standards.
Now, this man attended a school board meeting in Conway, Arkansas, and gave this little speech after a trans student spoke against policies that the school was trying to implement that would roll back trans rights at the school. During the meeting, after this man spoke, the policies were put into place and they did roll back trans rights. And as you could hear in the recording, there was applause in the audience after this man got up and gave his little speech. Not only is this behavior acceptable, calling for the death of gay and trans children and people at large, but it's encouraged. During the meeting, they passed the policies after this man gave this speech. And this behavior isn't coming out of nowhere. It's being poured into people's ears 24/7 by conservative media like Fox News, as we'll see in this next clip.
Because of what's happening in schools, what's happening with the school boards and the books and the woke culture there and the pronouns and everything else. Our lives are being destroyed. You can lose your job. You can be shunned in the town square of America on social media. You can be chased down the street. You can have things thrown at you. You can be harmed physically. It's about controlling the nature of Americans feeling safe to participate in society and to be opposition to the liberal narrative, to have a contrary opinion about COVID or about crime or about the justice system.
That was Fox host Tammy Bruce talking about how you just can't hate minorities anymore and get away with it, or you'll be shunned in the town square of America through social media. Now, while we may all understand that she's spouting lies, no one is being attacked in the streets for being conservative, white, heteronormative. There are people who listen to her who take her seriously. There are people who believe her, and then that drives them to more violence against people like the LGBTQ community. And guess what? Over the past decade, because of stuff like this, the murders of people in the LGBTQ community have risen almost 500%. Culture war narratives aren't just a distraction. They're actively dangerous, and they're dangerous for those among us who are the most vulnerable in society today. So if you hear culture wars being spouted, the narratives being spouted, shut them down. Shut them down right away. Don't allow those to permeate. And that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you got something out of this video, like it, share it. It helps spread the message. And consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.